Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria (FMBN) held her Customer Service Week on the 3rd to 7th October 2022. The purpose is to celebrate their customers and get feedback from them. The gathering, which was more of an interactive session between the bank and their beneficiaries, had in attendance top management staff of the bank, as well as developers, beneficiaries, and off-takers. The Executive Director, Kingsley Chukwuma, Business Development and Portfolio Management, while acknowledging the stakeholders, charged them on the need to take actions that would foster the goal of the organization.
It's not by mistake that you people are here. We have resumed this place, and he made mention about we resuming almost 7 months now, which I feel a lot of things has to change, and we're also working very seriously towards that. And if you look very well, like they say, customers are always right, and that's why you are here. We want to hear from you. We want to see a lot of changes ahead. And not only that, it has to be implemented. We need to enforce a lot of things. We have seen a lot in the past 6-7 months, which a lot of them has actually come to our table and they have been addressed. And we feel that what is left now is to action, which is what we are actually looking at.
The developers, while expressing their enthusiasm, thanked the management of the bank for the good work of providing housing for Nigerians and making the process easy and accessible.
I appreciate what the people have done. You have shortened the time for so many things, like disbursements now. I remember the early times, it would take up to a year from one certificate to the other to be honored. But the process that you people have created now is quite fast and is appreciated by the developers.
We just got, an approval at the time, the new management and board, came on board. So at the time, we were quite apprehensive that, maybe that will cause a lot of delay and maybe even our project, delay, in execution. But incidentally, just like my senior colleague mentioned here, it was seamless. We've moved our project, and like the ED mentioned in his remarks, we have the opportunity of meeting the management even last week, which is not something that commonly happens, for you to see the management visiting the project, which is a lot of encouragement even on our own part.
For the developers, it's easier now for us to talk to the obstacles, build houses, and they will be able to claim. Then again, processing of the loan is seamless. Before, it takes time for the loan to come out, but now it's very easy. Once the obstacle or the developer is able to put up the documentation together, right away we'll get the person will get approval. So I want to thank FMBN management for doing that, because it's making what we are doing as developers to be easy. Yes, especially cost of fund and some other things, because if you build and nobody is buying the property, it's a very big challenge.
They, however, encouraged the bank to do more while raising concern over funded estates. Many of the customers appreciated the bank for such opportunities, while also raising concerns on the need to get more Nigerians aware of the products of the bank.
We really still have enough to do, especially in civil service. Me, I'm a civil servant, and I always look up for us to save for a project like this. We really have to do a lot. I've been talking to my colleagues, it's been so difficult because they are so scared of the loans. They are so scared of going into projects. They prefer to go to outskirts, but I want to tell you it's not the best. Because as you grow old, you find it difficult in staying in outskirts and difficult to get to your offices. But as you subscribe to this, it makes life more easier for us. And I want to say much more of advertisement in this level the locator, especially the new people, the new entrants into the service, because you catch them young and they will be able to do much better before they retire. Not that when it's becoming 2-3 years to go, you are not just running a basket. It will no longer be like that.
It takes us a lot to convince members to key into this wonderful project. When you hear rent to own, and the people, it was like a magic. Until Lape delivered the first 32 set of the house, nobody believed. They were like, rent to own in Nigeria, it can't happen. Because we've heard of federal government projects in housing, the one they call, is it meat or fish? How it went. I don't want to go into that. Yes. And then, so if Federal Mortgage Bank, being a federal body, organization, I wish they can relate to the the head of service and introduce this kind of laudable project into the system. It will be well applauded. Then I can start back and say, you are doing very well. And so far so good. The idea is fantastic. Rent to own. It means I will no longer pay a lot to buy a house or access facilities. I can pay token and at the end of that own the house.
The session ended with lots of appreciations from both the bank, customers, and developers.